July 1, 2025 meeting of the Orange Town Plan and Zoning Commission. I am Commissioner Razi. I'm Commissioner Razi Parenti.
Tom Tarenti.
Paul Kaplan.
Oh, sorry.
Kevin Cornell.
Jackton Merchant Zoning
Sorry,
Administrator.
did I jump you?
That's okay, because I wasn't ready. Jenny Bowser, Recording Secretary. I did, I'm sorry.
Bonnie Syatt.
All right, Bonnie, thank you. Yeah, first, thank you for chairing the meeting last time, Paul. I hear you did a great job.
I'm surprised you're still in that chair.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a few things on the agenda tonight for a change. It's been pretty quiet, but let's get right to it. First item on our agenda is a review of the minutes from the June 17, 2025 meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review those?
I had no comments.
No comments here.
Looking for a motion for approval?
Yes, please.
I can do that, right? Yes. Move to approve the June 17th, 2025 minutes as submitted.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion to approve. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I abstain, yeah. Okay. Good. Old business. Anybody have anything they wish to bring up under that subject? The neon signs.
Yes.
I guess that, I thought about that when I was looking at the application we're gonna hear later on. Do we have smoke shops with neon signs? Are neon signs permitted anywhere in
They're
town?
not. Some
Okay.
of them put the LED lights kind of around their windows. I have noticed, an uptick in that, which I'd be happy to crack down on if we.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're not allowed,
Mhm.
and it's going on, we might as well start taking a look at it, right?
Jack, are they?
They're behind were they outside?
They're usually, from what I've seen, they're usually behind the glass, but they're like the revolving colors too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Mainly smoke shops, they're in a few restaurants. I know Ale House, Mad Mike's, does have them in the window.
Does it make a difference if they're outside or inside? If they're visible from the outside, I guess not, right?
Yeah, I don't think the
Correct.
code really makes
It's
sense.
visibility.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, if we need to review the regs on that question.
Well, the regs are very clear,
Yeah.
they're not allowed.
Well, in my opinion, anyway, we ought to start taking a look at that.
Okay, what did we do with the coffee, the new Super Duper coffee shop? Did they have any, they had ones that were
They had
shaded,
kind of
right?
accent around the building,
Right,
yeah,
Shielded.
Yeah, that's what it was.
right, and then we had that discussion.
right. And then we have some language and it's gonna be on August agenda.
Yeah, August agenda.
Okay, anything else under old business? All right, then, under new business. Anybody have anything beside what's noted there, officer, elections?
I have one thing. So, although there's a temporary appeal, so to speak, in the, because the governor vetoed the legislation, the affordable, the legislation, the affordable housing legislation. I still think that that's just a matter of time before the government continues to try and exert its influence on telling us what to put where in this town. So I still think it would behoove us to have a chat with the town council and consider looking at the likely places to put, denser housing, which would be along the post road, and see what we can do to either encourage it where it belongs or discourage it where it doesn't belong, or keep it from getting, out of hand. You know, if, you know, people came in and decided to try and game the legislation. But, I had asked Jack to just talk to Vinnie and maybe try and set something up in the next couple of meetings for
Yeah.
just a quick look at it. Or we can wait until it comes back.
No, I mean, I don't see any problem with taking a look at it, you know, ahead of time.
I did,
I read the I need to take another look at it, go back and take another look at it, you know, to know what specifically we're talking about.
Well, of most concern to me as a potential for being zealously followed up, I don't want to call it abused, by, you know, developers would be that in our C1 and I think the C2, the minimum lot size is 25,000 square feet. So the lots that are that size or smaller, you know, there would be perfectly entitled to whatever the new, you know, dictates out of Hartford were. But they were 3 to 9 units per lot,
per commercial lot.
per commercial lot. You know, of more concern would be that at 25,000 square feet, if you took a big lot that had vacancy in the current, you know, commercial, and people want to level it, that, you know, you could cut it up into a bunch of small lots, and at 9 lots per 9 units per 25,000 square feet, you know, that's like 16 or so per acre.
But when you say cut it up, that would be a subdivision, no?
Yeah, so you do a subdivision,
Right.
and, you know, it would just be a bit of a math exercise and a, you know, layout exercise to lay out lots with the bulk area regulations.
Right.
But still, you're talking about, I mean, if you had a rectangular 25,000 square foot lot, you can yield like 9,700 square feet inside of the bulk area regulations.
What would be our discretion with regard to approving a subdivision?
Well, it depends what happens with the legislation, but it's going to be, the last legislation said as of right.
Okay.
Well, no,
The
the
subdivision,
use.
the subdivision
Sorry.
isn't as of right, yeah.
Sorry, well, the subdivision would be if the lots all meet the criteria.
Then you got to grant it.
Right. And then the use would be as
Yeah,
of right.
as of right.
So, you know, again, on a 10-acre site, if you could get 16 per acre, you know, that's, okay, do you want 160 units, you know, where, you know, somebody can't say like they never should have built behind Applebee's, that wing has always been empty in that commercial lot.
So you say that would be permitted as of right?
That's the way it was in that.
In the, yeah, that-
Legislation.
proposed legislation.
What are our?
I guess this is also a question for Vinnie, but what are our options to,
If you changed it to, if you changed your regulations to 50,000 square foot to a lot, then the subdivision scam wouldn't work. Because no one wants, then you don't have a density that pays for knocking down the buildings.
right? Okay,
I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
yep.
That particular one, but,
All right.
And-
I also have
all right.
one other issue. I think it may have been under old business. I don't even know if it qualifies as under old business. There was an application a few years ago to put, I'm thinking it was like 30 units immediately opposite the Turkey Hill School exit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen, as I go by, that particular entrance to the subdivision, which is in the back, has a gate. Oops, sorry. But there's some activity there. I don't know what it is, so I'm questioning.
A private landowner bought all of that, and he uses it for recreational for him and his family. I call him, you know, every once in a while saying, listen, you know, be careful what you guys are doing over there. There is a lot of wetlands pockets in and out. I've walked it. A lot of what he's doing is kind of cleaning up, you know, the stuff that's back there. I mean, it's a lot of land, but it's privately
Yeah,
owned now.
it was like 30 acres, it was almost 30 acres.
Somewhere along
Yeah.
those lines, yeah, but it's.
A lot of
he
wetlands and stuff.
Tells me, you know, it's just for me and, you know, for enjoyment at the moment, so. the guy
He
who-
seems to
who
be
lives-
enjoying himself?
Yeah, the guy who lives there, I think him and his kids ride some dirt bikes and stuff back there.
Oh,
so,
that is enjoyment. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that, from what I know.
All right. You know, on this question of officer elections, I didn't see anything in our bylaws that talk about what happens when, or what we need to do when there's a vacancy in an office. You know, it talks about what happens if there's a vacancy to be filled, a seat at the commission to be filled, but not,
I assume that was. That James has the ability to appoint.
yes.
Okay.
Which he did.
Yeah.
Appointed Jay. But the effect of Judy leaving is that we have no vice chairman.
Right.
And it just occurs to me that we probably could install a vice chairman.
Kevin.
Paul,
We could install a vice chairman.
I'm on the record.
and-
You didn't hit the line.
And do that by motion, seconded, and voted on. I don't
Makes
see,
sense.
I don't
Yeah.
see why we need it.
That's the way the first selectman instructed us to handle it as well.
And it also occurs to me that based on seniority,
Uh-oh.
in recognition of your years of service.
Okay, the
the
gray hair
vice
really
chairman
sucks.
probably, and his recent performance.
Oh, yes.
well, now I understand.
That the.
Oscar winning.
That Paul Kaplan should probably be the vice chairman. I mean, I wouldn't want to put that on Tom,
Hey, Jay.
who's still kind of new to the commission. Hey, Jay.
A new sucker walks into the,
Right.
into the arena.
So that obviously would vacate the secretary seat, and I would propose that, or I would suggest that we move that Kevin fill that spot. Read our legal notices from now on.
I can read.
So if everybody,
So you've told us.
so if everybody thinks that makes sense, I'll entertain a motion that we do just that.
Tom, would you make the motion so that we don't?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion, I guess, Jay, you got here right at the right time. With Judy leaving, we don't have a vice chairman anymore.
Yep.
And it occurs to me that we probably could fill that spot by the person with the most seniority, that's Paul. And that vacates the office of secretary. And Kevin would take that. And again, based on seniority, I wouldn't want, to put that on you, or even Tom, who's still kind of new to the commission. So that's what we're voting on,
Yep.
to make Paul the vice chairman and Kevin the secretary. Tom's made a motion that we do that. Are you prepared to second it? Because it wouldn't make sense if they.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion, it's been seconded, all those in favor? Aye.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, it's unanimous. All right, next item, report of the zoning enforcement officer.
The only thing I had was I did have a chance to speak with Vinny briefly last week. Let him know that we were hoping to have him pop into one of our meetings and kind of give us the lowdown on any potential new legislation. So he said any meeting maybe in September. So we'll target one of our September meetings, have him come in and chat, and we'll go from there. We can even count it as an hour of training.
Oh,
It would
better.
be, I don't know if there, we could focus his discussion on, the issue that Kevin raises. I mean, we don't need to have him review the.
Yeah, no,
regulation their
in my
entire-
discussion with him, we mentioned that exact one, and there's the parking reduction. There's only a few of
Yeah.
the items in that legislation that are really, concerning for us.
All
So
right.
he'll focus on those.
All right,
Vinnie's firm still right over here?
Yeah, he's still in that building, yeah.
all right. Anything else, Jack?
No, sir.
All right. Fifth item on our agenda is the St. Barbara Greek Orthodox Church request to hold its annual Odyssey Festival. Is somebody here tonight?
Yes, I believe Mr. Lewa is.
We don't get the father?
Faked me out. I thought you were on the, application later on.
No, that's Mr. Gordon.
Right,
Mr.
okay.
Gordon's got that one covered. Okay, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Bob Weway, and I'm a member of the Odyssey Committee for St. Barbara's Greek Orthodox Church. And we're here basically seeking the commission's approval for our upcoming event, which will take place this Labor Day weekend.
Could you spell your last name, please?
WHEWAY.
Thank you.
Starting up on Friday, August 29th, and finishing up on Monday, September 1st. The event's going to be very similar to what it was last year. Probably the most significant change is that we will not be using the High Plains Community Center for parking this year. Holy Infant was kind enough to allow us use of the parking lot again this year. Last year, they were going through a repaving project, so, you know, it was basically off limits for everybody. So we'll have access to the parking there and possibly up at Good Shepherd also.
Insurance is all set, though?
What's that?
Insurance is all set?
Yeah, insurance is all set. We've been in contact, been in contact with the police department, fire. We filed our application with the health department, so everything's in motion.
Any
For the
issues at
event.
all?
No, mine, I just had one question. So because Holy Infant parking is available again, you don't need anywhere, you know, in the back of that Sunset area you guys used last year?
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna actively plan on using it, but if we find that the event is very busy, then we may open that area up.
Okay.
So we'll play that one by ear and see how it
All right,
goes.
I know there's just stipulation, no access, you know, from.
Yeah, if
from
we do,
Sunset,
if
that
we do
area
use
were to
that
be
back
used.
parking area again, we'll set it up the way we did last year. We put construction fencing, going basically down, you know, splitting the property in half. So there's no access going out to Sunset. So all the access was through our facility. So, I mean, other than that, the menu's about the same. We're adding a few new items to the menu. And probably the last item, we're looking at possibly bringing some rides in, but that hasn't been finalized at this point.
Okay. That sounds good. I mean, I think routinely, every year, all we really inquire about is the insurance
Yeah.
certificate. As long as that's in place.
And if you guys could just send me a copy of that.
Yeah, we'll get that out to you.
He
really
mentioned
it.
something about if rides come in, I'd like the ability to have them come back, make sure that they are, at least talk to Jack about where placement and so forth.
Oh, right. I don't know what you meant.
Is that what you meant? That's what you meant, right?
Rides, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking carnival type rides.
Yeah.
Would they be located where they,
Well, if we bring them up, because what we're looking to do is actually position them in the front of the church,
Okay.
in the grass area between the parking and
Yeah.
the building itself.
That's usually where it
Basically to
is.
make it a little bit more visible for people coming up Racebrook Road and to try to draw additional people in
Okay.
for the event.
all right, any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Always one of my favorite orange events.
Move that we approve, do we have to approve anything? We just say yay?
I think we usually do
We
take a
usually
vote.
do.
Yeah.
It's our perennial special permit.
Okay. I move that we approve the, hang on, application for, nope, this is the St. Barbara's Church request to hold its annual Odyssey Festival from August 29th to September 1st, 2025.
Okay, we have a motion. Somebody prepare to second it?
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Hope to
Thank
see
you.
everybody up at the event.
Good, thank
Bye
you.
now.
Hope for good weather.
And Mr. Vice Chairman, I'm gonna read the next one.
I was about to say, it's all on you, babe.
All right.
Yeah, I see it.
All right, next item on our agenda is a public hearing.
Notice is hereby given that on Tuesday, July 1st at 7 PM at the Orange Town Hall, 617 Orange Center Road, the Orange Town Plan and Zoning Commission conduct a public hearing on the following. One, to consider enacting regulations for smoke shops, tobacco stores, and/or vape shops submitted on the initiative of the Orange Planning and Zoning Commission to amend sections 383-14 and 383-19, the Orange zoning regulations to regulate smoke shops, tobacco stores, and/or vape shops. And also, application for special exception permit or use submitted by Jeffrey N. Gordon for property known as 80 Boston Post Road to install an outdoor display at the India Farmers Market.
Okay, you didn't quite finish that, Mr. Secretary.
A copy of this notice has been filed with the Orange Town Clerk. Additional information is on file with the Orange Zoning Department, dated in Orange, Connecticut, this 18th day of June, 2025.
There you go. Thank you very much. Nicely done. All right, so first public hearing is the application for special exception permit of use submitted by Jeffrey Gordon. This is on 80 Boston Post Road to install an outdoor display at the India Farmers Market. Mr. Gordon.
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Gordon. I'm with Cotis Bodie and Associates at 263 Boston Post Road. And I am representing the Farmers India Market. Their application is something that you're all quite familiar with. The genesis of this probably went back to the Home Depot, where they used to line up their grills, probably doing it again, and blocking the entire sidewalk. And then you've added a permit structure for outside display. We have made the application to put the outside display in front of the entrance to the farmers market. And we've met with the various town departments. The one item that came back was from the health department. Their caveat is that if it is a food product, it should be covered. If it's not a food product, it doesn't have to be covered. What's a food product? Well, pumpkins are not food products in gourds, but melons are food products. So we have arranged our units in such a way where it could either be coming perpendicular to the building with cover, or they could be rotated parallel to the building under the canopy as it is. And just going to give you a few of these guys here. If we decided to add covers, we have the canvas covering. We also did do a survey of various other outside display areas in town. And again, we have over Home Depot with their grills. We have Trader Joe's, and they have food product and non-food product. We have the other farmers market on Bull Hill Lane, the odd lot facility there. So taking in the comments from the sanitarian's office, we made the accommodation for covered display. It's
I'm not sure. So again, you showed two locations.
I can either have them here or I can rotate them there.
Okay, so there would be,
Either or.
Either or.
okay.
Depends on, because it's a seasonal display, it depends on what they're displaying. If you go over to the farmer's market on Bull Hill Lane, they basically just have flowers. Over there at Odd Lots, flowers and whatnot. So this is basically produce.
But it's two areas versus three areas.
Right, your regulation has a few caveats to it, 6-foot walking aisles.
Yeah.
And no more than 200 square feet. So
Yeah.
if I have 3 of them there at 4 by 16, I'm at 192 square feet. So I'm under that 200-foot limit. So the
Kevin,
special.
you had a question on that, didn't you?
Yes. In the, I believe your calculation is off in the perpendicular orientation. When they're up against the building, because if you read the language of the regulation, it says outdoor display area is to be measured in a regular geometric form. The area between outdoors displays shall be included in the calculation of the outdoor display area. So where you have the 3 rows perpendicular to the building store frontage, to get to 200 square feet, you've just calculated the area of the actual display itself.
So you're going to count the walking aisles between?
That is the plain language of the code.
So
yes.
then if I bunch them together,
That would be fine.
okay, so I can put 2 of them together and get it on both sides?
Except then you don't have a clear path.
No, I
of
would have,
egress out of the
if I
farm.
took 2 of the 3 and put them together, I would have a path around both sides.
As long as the egress from the double doors is kept open.
Yep.
And it's under 200 square feet. So maybe what you could do as a suggestion, would be define an area on your drawing of 200 square feet as alternate 1.
Okay,
The 2 up against the building is alternate 2. And then in a notation saying minimum 6-foot aisle aligned with egress doors.
okay,
That would probably take care of the fire marshal.
okay. And the fire marshal was good? Everybody was pretty good. John
I'm
Rossi
sure
was very
as-
good.
As long as everything's past the
Yep.
bollards.
Yeah, well, everything's on this side of the bollards, and I will claim that we have more access around these storage than the other ones that you have in town. Trader Joe's, I'm not sure how that passes muster, but they've been there a long time, but it's, you know, you
We
can't
can-
grandfather the health code, you know?
We can ask Jack to go out there and make sure they're behaving. We're talking to you
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
So,
All right, well, we could work with staff and do that.
so what are we looking at, though, what are we approving? I mean, either, we're gonna,
Comply with the 200 square feet and have the walking aisle.
I know, but you just, I hear what you're saying, and I understand,
Basically, his photograph
yeah,
of what they were doing
Yep.
is similar to what you want. You need
right. But he's,
clear
but he's
access in and
indicated
out.
that he was prepared to put them horizontal.
That's alternate, so he has 2 alternates. When they're up against the
Yeah,
building,
which one are we being asked to
it
approve?
says, looks like it's an either-or situation here.
Yeah, and what I can also do, Rosie, is I can slide one of those over,
Mm-hmm,
and that way I can, actually, I would slide, consolidate that to 200 square feet. I mean, if the condition is not more than 200 square feet as measured.
Right.
yeah.
You know,
Then
you
that we're
define
fine.
an area that's 15 by 13 or 14 or whatever, and
Yeah, that's good.
go with a 6-foot aisle lined up on the doors.
Yep.
But if you could do that in a clear notation, I think,
Yeah.
as would be.
Okay, I can work with Jack on that.
I used to know the area better up there, but there were bollards that,
In the back,
in the back?
behind him.
Where the Staples entrance used to be, past that.
Okay, oh, thank you very much. Oh, I got you. Okay.
So the bollards give you a clear passage out of the doors.
So there'll be room to walk around is my concern, okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I got nothing more.
nothing more? Any other questions for Jeff?
Just one, Jeff, and it's kind of picayune and probably not really germane to the application, but under narrative description, the north, south, east, and west orientations you have are confusing.
Yeah, I'd rather have a surveyor do the meets and bounds, but I just walked around the perimeter.
And so what are we looking at here? I mean,
Well, that's the canvas covers.
and you're asking us to pick one, or?
No, I'm just telling you that if we have them perpendicular to the building, we'll have the canvas cover. If we don't have it, and we had buddied up to the building, we're under the physical canopy of the existing building, so which,
Okay,
you know,
all right.
Are these pretty pictures? What are these of?
He's saying that if in one position,
It would be,
they can use these to cover any area of the display that is not under the physical canopy. In the other position, all the display will be under the existing canopy.
When it's
They
hor-
don't-
when
they
it's-
don't- they
When
wouldn't
it's
When it's
necessarily-
horizontal, it's under the overhang.
right, when it's not, they'll use.
Well, the overhang doesn't go all the way to the curb. So
Exactly.
there'll be
Yeah.
something past the curb.
Right, right.
And he'll just have to keep the legs of the awnings out of the travel corridor.
exactly.
Right, yep. Okay,
All right.
anything else?
No, could I give it a try for an
Let it rip.
Well, wait, it's a
we'll
public
close the
hearing.
public
so
Oh,
we'll go
yeah.
first. All
There
right,
could be public
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this application? Okay, hearing none, then are we prepared at this point to close the public hearing?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I didn't see any big deal on
No, it would,
on
if,
this.
if we could do it subject to, you know, the 200 square, you know, we'll call one alternate A and, or one or two, what did you call them in here?
Why don't we make it subject to just showing Jack the final layout?
Submitting a revised drawing reflecting Kevin's comments.
That
Yeah, you don't have
complies
to
with
do
everybody.
full size, just do blow
No,
up, you know.
we'll work it out.
All right.
Not
Right.
that complicated.
So we're prepared then to consider vote on the application
Yeah,
with the assumption that that'll get worked out by Jack at a later time.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the application for special exceptions permit or use submitted by Jeffrey Gordon for property known as 80 Boston Post Road to install an outdoor display at the India's Farmer Market, subject to the comments of the Health Department in covering either or, if either option A or option B, if there is outdoor food product that needs to be covered, and that in option B, where there are displays not up against the building, that they fit within a 200 square foot area with a 6-foot clear aisleway that is aligned with the egress doors to the India's Farmer Market.
And you want to say something
And
about a final?
and that plan will be submitted and reviewed by Jack and approved by staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the application. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Simple enough.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what to,
Yeah, yep, and I will, maybe I'll, before I send that language out, I'll clarify that, the language of that condition with you
No
tomorrow.
problem.
all right, last item on our agenda is an application to consider enacting regulations for smoke shops, tobacco stores, and/or vape shops. This is submitted on our own initiative. You know, we've reviewed drafts of the proposed regulation a couple of times, and I think the last look at it, there was just some question about aggregating uses in the retail store.
Yeah.
There was some language that, you know, wasn't quite clear.
Well, I mean, the more you read it, the clearer it gets.
Yep.
So I don't know that if we send it back to Vinnie, it's gonna get clearer per se, because,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any trouble with it when I
Okay.
read it, you know,
because under
the-
smoke shop, it says, or products, you know, not limited to products sold at vape shops and vice versa. So
Yeah.
they, you know, I think that gets us to our aggregation.
Right.
I think so as well.
It's Paul, under the definition of smoke shop.
Thank you.
It's probably,
Or vape shop.
I think, what did we say, it was page 7? It was the same thing we looked at
Last
last
time.
meeting.
it's
Yep.
3 or 4 pages from the end.
Yep.
Of your handout there.
And I know it may sound crazy, but we actually are butting up to the end of our moratorium, so I think the sooner the action,
Yep.
maybe the better, because I'm not sure when we hear back from Vin. Of course, if we are comfortable. Not that we
I
have
mean,
to
I think
rush it.
that does the trick on
Yeah.
on what we were trying to
10% of-
tighten up
Comfortable now also.
in the language. And we also added that cigar stores
Yep,
are not meant to be included in that definition.
yep.
All right. And you know, obviously, we're behaving as though we're beyond the question of whether we ought to regulate or not. I mean, we've decided that, you know, we want to ban
Right.
retail facilities that fit within these definitions.
Yeah. We have three, we have 4 submissions.
Yeah, I'm gonna read those into the record.
Okay,
I think we have 6. This
or
is,
5.
yeah, I have full copies of it here. This is all the
Yeah,
submissions
I
we
think-
have. We might have left 1 or 2 out because we went back.
so you want me to read from yours?
Ours is the more complete copy.
All right. Let me do that. So there's nobody in the audience who's obviously here to speak on the application tonight, but we did receive some letters, all of which support our decision to ban smoke shops, vape shops in the future. So let me read this first one. This is from, this is addressed to me, Oscar Parenti, Chairman, Planning and Zoning. Dear Chairman Parenti, I'm writing to you on behalf of the Town of Orange Community Services Commission. We are deeply concerned about the growing impact of vaping on public health, particularly among our youth. Recent studies have highlighted the significant risks associated with vaping, including the potential for nicotine addiction, respiratory issues, and the potential long-term unhealthy effects. These health risks, coupled with the fact that vaping products are marketed in ways that appeal directly to young people, have raised concern for our community. Please consider the following in making your decision. 1, youth appeal. Vape products are often marketed with flavors and branding that attract minors, contributing to the rise in youth vaping. This is especially concerning given the potential for nicotine addiction and the risk of a lifetime tobacco use. Health risks. Vaping is not a harmless activity. There are growing concerns about the harmful chemicals inhaled during vaping, including formaldehyde and other toxins. It is premature to introduce products that pose a serious risk to the health of our youth. Community impact. The excessive presence of vape shops will normalize the use of these products, creating an environment that is not conducive to the well-being of our young residents. As you know, we believe it is essential to maintain a safe, healthy environment in Orange. For these reasons, we respectfully suggest that the zoning board place a permanent moratorium on any additional vape smoke shops from opening in Orange. We look forward to a positive dialogue and working together for the health and safety of our community. Thank you for your time and attention to this important matter. Sincerely, James M. White, Chairman, Community Services Commission. And this is copied to James Zioli, First Selectman. Second letter, dated April 2, 2025, to the Board of Planning and Zoning. As the public health nurse for the town of Orange, I am writing to strongly urge you to support no other vape shops coming into Orange. This has been proven to help reduce access of vaping products to our youth. We know that tobacco products, including e-cigarettes, are not safe, especially for children, teens, and young adults. E-cigarettes contain excessive quantities of nicotine, a drug that's highly addictive. Nicotine has been shown to increase anxiety and depression in teens. Nicotine has been shown to affect brain development, including memory, concentration, self-control, and attention. Why would we want our youth to take these risks? In addition, vaping can have a wide range of negative side effects, both short and long term, including cough, wheezing, lung inflammation, increased heart rate, high blood pressure, and increased risk of heart attack and stroke. It is important to note that not everyone may experience these side effects, but the risks are there, and the health department strongly advises to avoid vaping altogether. We also know prevention work through providing education programs, community engagement, support and cessation programs, and implementing policies that regulate and restrict the availability of these products will help to reduce youth vaping rates. Youth services and prevention will continue to do the work, but we cannot do it alone. We need your help. By working together, we can reduce tobacco use among youth and protect public health. Thank you for your consideration. Lynn Peckham, RN, and Dr. Amir Mohammed, Director of Health. All right, just a couple more. This is to the Town of Orange Planning and Zoning from the Orange Youth Services Team representatives regarding smoke vape shops. We would like to introduce ourselves. We are the Orange Youth Services Teen Representatives. This group is a new group to Orange that was developed to address concerns of youth around prevention and mental health, provide community service to the town, and to work on having positive pro-social events in town for youth. It is currently made up of over 30 youth ages 12 through 18. We often discuss issues we are facing in the community and ways in which we can improve our community. The biggest issue that we have talked about frequently is vaping and how we are concerned for many of our peers. We try to come up with ideas that will help limit or reduce vaping. We are writing to you as the Planning and Zoning Board to inform you that you have our support to stop any more smoke shops from coming into Orange. At this time, our friends are able to access vapes and illegal products easily in Orange on the Post Road due to the large amount of shops. They are well lit up with neon and things that work to bring in youth, they are well lit up with neon and things that work to bring in youth like us to the shops. That's where I got the reference to. We have a lot of friends that are already addicted to vapes. Many of them have been unable to stop because it is so addictive. In addition, there are things that are sold inside these shops that are often not regulated and have higher levels of THC and cannabis, which has affected our age group. We are asking that you stop allowing further vape shops in Orange. We have more than enough. Thank you for reading this letter. We hope that this helped to make your decision easier, and it's signed sincerely, Orange Youth Services Teen Representatives. Okay, this is from the Police Department. Dear members of the Planning and Zoning Committee, we are writing to you today as school resource officers of the Orange Police Department who are dedicated to fostering a safe, healthy, and supportive environment for our youth. Part of our role involves educating students on the importance of making positive and healthy life choices, especially as they navigate the challenges of adolescence. It is from this perspective that we respectfully urge the committee to consider placing a moratorium on the addition of more vape shops in our community. As SROs on the front lines of student health and well-being, we see firsthand the growing influence that vaping has on our young people. Research has shown that the use of e-cigarettes and vape products can have serious long-term health consequences, particularly for developing bodies and brains. The nicotine in these products is highly addictive, and many of the other chemicals present in vape products can have damaging effects on the respiratory systems and overall health. In recent years, we have witnessed an alarming increase in the number of students using vape products, both on and off school grounds. Many of these students are unaware of the potential risks they are exposing themselves to, and their curiosity often outweighs their understanding of the harm that vaping can cause. It is disheartening to see so many young people become entangled in a circle of addiction at an early age, potentially setting the stage for lifelong health challenges. The addition of more vape shops in our community only exacerbates this issue, making these products more accessible and reinforcing the message that vaping is an acceptable or harmless activity. As a community, we have a responsibility to protect our youth from such influences, and limiting the availability of vape products is a crucial step in reducing the normalization of vaping. We firmly believe that taking action to prevent the opening of more vape shops will send a strong message to our young people about the importance of making informed, healthy choices. Our focus should be on creating a future where our youth are empowered to live long, healthy lives, free from the harmful effects of nicotine addiction and substance abuse. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Detective Christopher Artabane, number 133, Detective Carolyn Bailey, number 110. Okay, I have just two more. This is dated February 28, 2025. Dear member of the Planning and Zoning Committee, as the Director of Community Services for the Town of Orange that oversees youth services and prevention, and also a mother who is deeply concerned by the epidemic of youth vaping in our communities and across our country, I'm here tonight to strongly urge you to support placing a moratorium on vape shops in Orange to help reduce access of vaping products to our youth. We know that tobacco products, including e-cigarettes, are not safe, especially for children, teens, and young adults. E-cigarettes contain excessive quantities of nicotine, a drug that's highly addictive. Nicotine has been shown to increase anxiety and depression in teens. Nicotine has been shown to affect brain development, including memory, concentration, self-control, and attention. Why would we want our youth to take these risks? Did I just read this letter? Or?
They definitely took one
Yeah, yeah.
paragraph from the other person.
We also know prevention work through providing education programs, community engagement, support and cessation programs, and implementing policies that regulate and restrict the availability of these products will help to reduce youth vaping rates. Youth services and prevention will continue to do the work, but we cannot do it alone. We need your help. By working together, we can reduce tobacco use among youth and protect public health. Thank you. Thank you for your consideration. Stacy Johnson, MSW, Director of Community Services. And lastly, dated November 14th, 2024, it's a memorandum to Chairman Parenti, Town Plan and Zoning Commission, from James Zioli, first selectman, regarding smoke and vape shops in Town of Orange. At the November 13, 2024 meeting of the Board of Selectmen, Stacy Johnson, Director of Community Services, and Chantel Bunnell, the Youth Services and Prevention Coordinator for the Town of Orange, were present to share information on youth vaping and smoke and vape shops in the town. Youth vaping has become a national health crisis, and the addiction it creates is much worse than cigarette nicotine. They were looking for support from the Board of Selectmen to place a moratorium on smoke and vape shops and levy restrictions on them. It was explained to them that the Town Plan and Zoning Commission is the board that would handle that. The selectmen were all in support of their request, and a motion was made and unanimously approved to encourage the Town Plan and Zoning Commission to levy restrictions and limit smoke and vape shops in the town of Orange. Please consider this request for action. Okay. Need a drink of water pretty badly. All right, I mean, everything we've seen in the, when we held a public hearing before on this, the people in attendance all gave us opinions in line with the letters I just read. So I think it's, and I did not hear any argument made against, against adopting the regulation that we are considering now,
I do have one quick question. I don't have it in front of me, but we're looking at 383-185. This is for the prohibition, because there's no language in this. This just is
Correct.
definitional.
383-14 and 383-19 is what the two sections we are amending here.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
and we're taking out the language.
Removing the
Moratorium.
moratorium that only gave us 6 months.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so the only thing I would add is, when we adopt or consider adopting an amendment to our regulations, we need to look at the plan of conservation and development to assure that what we intend to do is consistent with it. And looking through the plan of conservation and development, I saw one item regarding the benefit of and the intention that we protect and preserve community character. Page 20 of the plan, and talk of a great place to raise a family and that type of verbiage. So I think this is consistent with that. Business development, I think that, it's probably more conducive to business development not to have so many of these shops proliferating on, along the post road. And that is, that's all spoken about and, laid out in better development along the post road was the topic in our plan of conservation and development.
Oz, I think you can also go with the fact that the zoning regulations as a whole are for the health and
Yeah.
betterment of the population, that you can make
Absolutely.
the argument that this is consistent with that.
Yeah. And I think for those reasons, this all makes sense, so. So do we have any other, anything do we need to collect from anybody outside of the hearing tonight? Okay.
The only thing I would suggest is for a motion,
We're gonna close the public hearing.
oh, I'm sorry, yep.
So we'll do that if there's no need for further information.
Not from me.
Okay,
All right.
and somebody,
Move to close the public hearing?
Second?
all right, we have a motion to close the public hearing, it's been seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I mean, for the reasons we discussed, I don't, I would presume someone's prepared to make a motion to approve.
Jack had a question.
Yeah, just an effective date in that motion.
Okay.
We can do a week from today of July 8th. If that-
It's all right with me.
All right, I'll move to adopt the amendments as we've laid out, effective date on July 8th of 2025.
Okay, we have a motion to approve our application. Do we have a second?
Second?
Okay, thank you, Jay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's unanimous. And that would do it for our agenda this evening.
Move to adjourn.
The motion to adjourn has been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.